Battlefield Podcast.
Hey everybody, Ola aka ChalkOne from Battlefield Podcast here, and this is our first impressions video of the latest and final Battlefield 3 DLC, Endgame. Now, I've only had the ability to play the DLC for about 5 hours over the last 2 days, on the PS3 of course, since that's where it came out a week early for PS3 Premium members. And I want to tell you right off the bat that we are going to have a full review video sometime towards the end of next week, after Tim and I have had a chance to play this on the PC and put some serious hours into it and give you a better rundown of it. But right now, I just want to talk to you a little bit about some of the features, some of the things that I've liked so far off the bat, and some of the things that I've disliked. Just sort of a rough idea, just keeping in mind that it's like a 5-hour maximum time spent in the game. And also, I'm not a very frequent PS3 player, so, you know, the controls are weird to me, I suck at aiming and stuff like that, but I'll try not to focus on that too much, because none of that stuff really changed anyways. So, there's basically 3 things I want to talk about. One of them is Capture the Flag, the other one is Air Superiority, and finally the dropship in Conquest, because those are sort of the main features that have been added in the Endgame DLC, and kind of the ones that I think stand out the most and probably what people will talk about at length. You've probably seen lots of videos of people making individual discussions on each of these topics. This is just going to be one sort of consolidated video with my thoughts on the matter. First of all, Capture the Flag, new game mode. The traditional kind of game mode where both teams have a flag in their base, you have to go grab it, bring it back home to yours, and they have to do the same thing. It's actually quite fun. It's probably the game mode that I foresee being played the most in this DLC, because it offers the most variety. It's something different, but it still offers a lot of options of things for you to do. It does require a fair amount of teamwork if you want to pull it off well, so being in a squad, or at least being able to talk to several people, is quite important. Because the trick is you can't just take their flag and bring it back to your base. You have to keep your flag in your base as well in order to score the points. It's a first team to 3 captures wins with a timer on the map so that it doesn't just go on forever, which is probably a good thing. Dirt bikes are great on this because dirt bikes are quick and nimble. The fact that you can sort of flank around the other team, flank around the map. There's lots of great flanking routes on all these maps for Capture the Flag. They really feel like they've been designed for Capture the Flag, in my opinion. And it's just kind of fun to actually try to go all the way around, try to get their flag, hope they didn't defend it well. You're going to run into a lot of claymores, a lot of mines, because a lot of people will try to race in and grab the flag on the dirt bike and take it back home. So there's a lot of that, so you got to watch out for that. There is a whole science to defending against capturing the flag, or against having the other team capture your flag. If that gets neglected, you're going to be in a world of hurt all the time, so it's definitely a kind of different strategy, which again goes back to how I like the variety that this game mode offers, because you can choose to just hang back and defend, or go all out and try to get it. Hopefully your teammates will help you out if you have the flag, as far as supporting you, giving you cover. If the flag gets dropped, teammate can pick it up again, which is great, so it's not an instant having to go back and start all over again. A lot of times you will end up with the enemy's flag at your base, but your flag's also missing, so you kind of got to hang on. Had some great rounds where you're basically sitting in a tank with the enemy flag, waiting for the rest of your team to get your flag back. A lot of options, and I think the maps are really quite well designed for Capture the Flag, so that's probably actually been really the most enjoyable part of Endgame for me so far. I wouldn't say I've played it the most, well I probably have played it the most, but it's definitely a good addition to Battlefield, and something we haven't had, and I think something that I can see us playing again very frequently in the future. I've already seen people call for having CTF on original and vanilla maps or other maps. I don't see that happening, but it would be kind of cool, but the maps sort of have to be designed for that as well. You'd have to have dirt bikes and stuff, because just running around with a flag doesn't work out as well. You gotta have some speed, which is cool, because you can also transport it in helicopters and tanks, like I said, so. Capture the Flag gets a thumbs up from me so far. It's much more fun with people that you're communicating with, but so much in Battlefield is. Moving on to Air Superiority mode. I suck at flying, so the stuff you're seeing in the background now, I apologize, it's horrendous. I'm not half bad on PC, I'm absolutely horrible on the consoles, so just keep that in mind. I wasn't trying to make some sort of ace jet pilot montage here. This is just, background footage. I've only played Air Superiority mode on 2 different maps so far. It doesn't really matter so much what the map's like, in my opinion, so far, because you're just flying around anyway. So you start off in the jet, you're already in the air, you can't eject out of it. Air radar isn't working or broken, don't know if that's intentional. It is good, though. The positives of it, if you disable the enemy vehicle, most of the time they will just explode eventually and you'll get the kill for it, because they can't eject unless they have fire extinguisher. They're pretty much screwed. Which can be a little frustrating when you're that person on fire and you're slowly bleeding. You might as well just fly on the side of a mountain, which I do a lot anyway, so that works out well. Not a lot of people PTFOing on these maps yet. If you remember, there's actually flags to capture, if you will. They're those blimps that you have to basically fly in proximity around to capture them. Some people that I've played with actually use that to advantage. They're not very, confident pilots, I guess, and so they try to avoid the actual dogfighting and just try to capture points, and you can get quite a few points like that and finish the round off with not too bad of a round at all. Whereas I usually just try to shoot everybody down and get killed a lot. Dogfights in general, I mean, they're the kind of dogfights you're used to. There's a lot of planes in the air, there's a lot of targets, a lot of times you'll get distracted by going, oh, that way, I'll go this way, just because enemy jets come into your view. It takes some discipline, I think. It takes a skilled pilot to do it. I'm not one of them, so it's not as much fun for me. It can be a sort of welcome distraction from time to time, but I don't foresee myself playing this at length. Definitely not as much as I foresee myself playing Capture the Flag. It is kind of cool, though. I think people who enjoy flying will go back to it. I think strategies will evolve eventually, where people will actually, fly in formation with teammates and help each other out, as opposed to, right now, it's just team deathmatch with very little emphasis on the team part, even. You just kind of hope for an enemy and try to shoot him down. I really wish countermeasures would have been fixed, because they appear to be really, really broken still, which, of course, makes it difficult to just escape from enemy jets. Below the radar never works for me, so pretty much 50% of the time when I flare, I get hit anyways. So the key is to just try to stay out of the way, I guess, and try to get behind the enemy and shoot him down that way. There is a cool little Easter egg in one of the maps that's playing in the background right now. It's one of the flying dinosaurs, which is kind of cool. Scanner Barkley found this out. At least the very first person I heard mention it. Happened during a live stream we did last night. Put it up on YouTube, so that was kind of cool. I managed to grab a little bit of a shot of it here with Billy the Kid. So that's Air Superiority. I don't know, if you're big into flying, you may enjoy it. If you're not into flying at all, you're going to hate it, obviously, and you're going to avoid it. If you're sort of on the edge of it, like me, you may do it from time to time. It's kind of like Tank Superiority, but I think it's actually a little more interesting. I think the other benefit to Air Superiority might be if you want to learn how to fly, you just want to practice and put some time in, it's obviously the best way to do it. And finally, the dropship that was added in Conquest mode on these 4 new maps is kind of interesting. I hadn't gotten a chance to try it out yesterday, but I went today with the sole purpose of actually being able to parachute from it a couple times. And it is basically like the AC-130. It's on rails, so you can't control it. It goes around the map. There is one flag that controls what team controls the dropship. So if you capture the flag, you have it, and you get to spawn from it on occasion. Managed to spawn in an IFV, so in an APC that then dropped out. The animations are cool. We've seen them in a trailer. I don't know if there was really any control over when I dropped out. So the whole benefit of dropping armor behind enemy lines was kind of lost on me, because I saw it, I spawned on it, and I jumped out of the airplane with the IFE, which looked cool, but I ended up, nowhere near behind enemy lines. In fact, I was halfway between the first flag and our base. So that wasn't really all that beneficial to my team or even to me. But parachuting from it is kind of cool, because you actually stand at the back of the big door and look out. You can choose when to jump, which is different from parachuting out of the AC-130 in Armored Kill, where you just, as soon as you hit spawn, you jump out. You kind of had to wait for the AC-130 to be in a beneficial position. Here, you can actually stand there, look out the window, not out the window, out the open door, and wait for the opportune moment to jump. You're quite high up, so getting that pancake dog tag is very easy. Just jump and don't open the parachute. Other than that, I don't know, it's an interesting little touch. Clearly, it's not as overpowered as the AC-130, which is good, because they removed the guns from it. It's kind of cool. I don't think it's going to sway the direction of a battle necessarily, but nice little touch. So with that said, Endgame, I don't want to give you a recommendation as to whether you should buy it or not, because I'm not there yet. Obviously, if you're a premium member, give it a try. If you have a PS3, you can play it now. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until next week or maybe even later. And like I said, Tim and I will be back in about a week and a half or so with a full report on our opinions of Endgame once we've had an ability to play it on the PC. Until then, I thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please like it and subscribe.